first, can I thank you for, giving your time.
Thank you for this opportunity, Christel, because I wanted to reflect about the experience.
Very good, very good. So would you like to say something about yourself to start with?
So, I'm a teacher of English in Trieste. Trieste is in the north of Italy. So I teach high school. I prepare students for university. We don't only teach the language. We also have literature.
Okay.
And I'm also the ICT coordinator in my school.
Okay.
And I'm also a teacher trainer, and in particular Edmodo certified trainer.
Okay. So, how and when did you first come across 3D virtual worlds?
This is my first time. I was an absolute beginner here.
Really?
I have no experience whatsoever.
Wow. I mean, that does not show at all. You're fantastic. That surprises me, really. Wow.
No,
Okay.
you're flattering. The fact is that 4 years, no, yes, this is my fourth session in EVO. And I had noticed machinima course years ago, and I wanted to join, but then I joined e-textbook, the course by Shelley Terrell.
Okay, yeah.
And she asked me, I liked it very much, and she asked me to be a co-moderator for a couple. I didn't have the time really. So I got an account in Second Life and slept for a couple of years. So this is the first time I'm really using my account.
Okay. I mean, thinking about this course, this EVO course, is what you got here what you expected to learn, or did you expect something different?
I had no expectations. I didn't know what it was about, so everything was new and exciting, and I'm very glad I joined, actually.
Okay, so it was a big adventure for you, actually, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great fun.
And will you have the opportunity to teach in 3D virtual worlds? I mean, at Modo or
No.
Yeah? No? Okay. And
Edmodo is a digital platform. It is not a virtual world, but it's something I could not do without. I mean, all my students are on Modo.
Okay.
So there are no. So I'm always there for them, except.
And do you think you well, obviously not, you won't be able to apply any of the games you saw or you created yourself here on this course?
No, because the policies for the use of technology are very strict. My students are not allowed to use their phones.
Okay.
Not even their phone. Wouldn't imagine of them going.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I'll use that. They will not be guests here, so to speak.
Okay. But
there are other ways you can use this.
Yeah, will you be using it for yourself? I mean, just for your own sake in the future, do you think?
Yes, I think so. Absolutely. I think this is the future. It is absolutely the future. 3D worlds are the future.
Okay.
I'll go on exploring.
Very good. So,
and I would like to learn to do machinima.
Oh, lovely. Lovely. I mean, machinima, it's very, very useful because, I mean, this way you can take the virtual worlds into the real world, just if you want to explain something, you can make a short video and then share it in the real life classroom, if you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Well, you said you teach, right? Do you in the real
Yes.
world, do you teach with games in your real life classroom as well? Do you use games?
What I like, it is difficult to describe a situation. I only have 2 hours per week, two 1 hour lessons per week. And we have a tight schedule. So I need to really plan every single in order to be able to I requested to do. We have a huge curriculum
Okay.
and the language too.
Mm-hmm.
So what I actually do is I think I need more of a flipped kind of learning, and there is where machine is very helpful because it would increase motivation. What I do now is using a lot of language games. I use a lot of vocabulary games, for instance. Quizlet. Do you know Quizlet?
Yes, yes, uh-huh.
An
Very
application.
good. Yeah, absolutely.
And the learningapps.org, which is German, I think.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure about that one, yeah, but again, I'll check it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can build interactive games of any sort, and so this is what I do. Try and create interactive.
Yeah. So the language you teach is Italian and English or just English?
Just English, just
Oh, good.
English.
Okay.
Everything in English.
Fantastic. When you came into a Second Life, did you encounter any technical problems?
No, except that my connection is slower than this.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, no. Basically, no.
Okay. So, finally, what are your wishes for the future, Lucia? I mean,
My wishes
yeah.
for. May I add something about the issues
Yeah,
here? Because
sure.
they are not strictly technical, but I have some problems in understanding the jargon, Second Life jargon. For
Oh, yeah.
example, there are words you do not hear outside. For example, prim or holodeck,
Yes.
resin things, odds, uh, purity.
That's a big problem of insiders who think everyone knows it. So I totally understand that because, I mean, it took me ages to
Maybe
learn.
sharing,
Yeah,
yeah, maybe sharing a glossary at the beginning of the course
yeah,
would be a good idea next.
yeah. That's,
Sometimes I missed, I think, half a lesson because I didn't understand what HUD was. And I couldn't see one. I thought I didn't, I was lost. I was completely lost. And I
yeah,
realized after, well, luckily you do recordings. Without the recordings,
yeah. I mean, it's like a word res. Can you res it? If you have never heard this word, doesn't exist outside, and then you
exactly.
don't know. Well, why res? What is that? So, yeah.
And
Yeah.
then there was another issue I would like to talk about, which is not strictly technical, but it is interesting, made me think. So, for example, when there were the mazes, remember the
Yes,
mazes,
of
which
course.
were
Yeah.
fantastic.
Hmm.
Once I was stuck in one, I couldn't get out.
Yeah.
And so I experienced claustrophobia. And I cried for help. Nobody listened. I was just stuck there. I tried to fly out of it. I couldn't fly out of it. Oh, it was awful. I must say, it was really awful. But in the end, I was able to fly out somehow. I realized that the others had not realized I was a predicament of some sort. So I was just thinking about people getting here and experiencing something that to a sound and healthy person, just normal. For example, falling from platform in the sky or float somewhere in the dark, which usually do not give any. Maybe somebody who experiences strong emotion. It is something that times needs guidance. Some experiences need guidance.
That's something very valuable you're just saying. Yeah. I mean, how about yourself when you got stuck? How did you feel about it? I mean, did that touch you emotionally that you couldn't get out or something?
There were a couple of moments during this session. For example, when the company started disappearing, going somewhere, and I hadn't understood yet where we were going. So I felt I was afraid I could be left behind.
Yeah.
A bit lost. Yes, there were some emotions that maybe somebody else could appreciate, or the adrenaline, you know. But the emotional side, interesting, something worth exploring, and at the same time something that we need to be able to look after in guiding a group of people. Is this clear?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, your voice is kind of, I'm losing you, but I'm getting the gist of it. And I think it's an important point when you go in here with students or learners that you need to be aware as a moderator what could happen and how people could be touched in a way that is not very positive, could be very negative, and that's important to know. Yeah.
The people were very helpful and caring to me, I must say. I just reflected about this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very important just to know.
Anyway, the place is beautiful. I mean, it unleashes your creativity. It is liberating in a way. But I wonder about its. I've been wondering about that really, because teenagers sometimes want to live their life they really, or with their peers. So I think Second Life can be very addictive to people who are emotionally weak. I mean, that is another thing I've been thinking about these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah. I mean, I know a colleague, she goes with her 13-year-old students into Second Life, but it is, guided all the time. They can only go there when she is around and do things when she is around, which I think might be quite important, so that the students are not left alone in this kind of surrounding, and they do things together, like do a game together or do a role play or something like that. And that works fine, she says.
Is wise.
Yeah, yeah. So she would never give her students access, let them uh, go into Second Life on their own from far away, or from their homes or wherever. She organizes that in some in her classroom, and people have the computers in the classroom, and they go in world together, so to speak.
So you were asking me about the future.
Yes.
The future. I think I'll go on exploring, and then I would like to learn to record something. Machinima. I have no idea how it is done, but I suppose you can use any application that records, right?
Yes, and any screen capturing software you can use. Yeah, that's right. And there are some very good guidelines. I can give you the link later. That's have been set up on a course,
Please
so
do,
you
yes.
can follow that, and it's fairly easy. It needs a lot of practice, but it's fairly straightforward. And so, shall we go to Sandbox and you show me the game you prepared?
All right. But before we go, what is the aim of your research?
My aim of the research, that's a good question. I'm intending to find out what the benefits are um, with game when teaching classes to use games in a virtual environment. I mean, teaching in Second Life, for example. So, what advantages games have, and how the games that are created and produced meet the affordances of the virtual environment, if you know what I mean. Not just that it is a game where people would just mix and match a word or something like that, because I think this is what could be done much more, much better in a 2D environment where people can do that, and also work in groups outside the virtual environment. For me, it is important which kind of activity meets the affordances that virtual worlds can offer and the real life environment could not offer. Like, for example, in a real world, in the classroom, we can do a role play, for example. That is fine. We can imagine and imitate that we are in a hotel and at the reception, and place our furniture in the classroom the way to make it look fairly like a hotel room or something. But it's not like in the real world. But when you are in a virtual environment, you can go into a hotel, and you can actually play the role like in a real life hotel room situation. And so there are so many things that you can simulate in a virtual environment, which you can't to such an extent in the real world. And this is what I'm want to try to get into, which kind of games are
I see.
really the ones.
They are immersive,
Yes, exactly.
immersive
Hmm.
environment.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, Emotional barrier go down, and you learn by doing things.
exactly. Yes, yes. And so the question for me comes, and this needs more research with learners, of course. How do people, students learn with throwing a dice and going from one place to the other, not doing it as a kind of group work, because only one person is involved with doing one thing at a time, if you know what I mean. And it's not a real kind of communication going on. It's a kind of question and answer game, which you could do, um, you know, differently, maybe with another on another platform or with other resources. So I'm looking for the kind of games and resources that are really that fit the purposes best. I mean, the maze, for example. I was reflecting on it. What is one thing that is important, that people have fun. They are running around and they are talking and they are chatting and they are laughing and they are having fun. But I mean, to think of the input you have to do to create the maze, first of all, then to make, for example, just in order to go through a place, to write the word circle into the chat, which is fun, it is nice, but then of course people can cheat, like I did as well. If I didn't know the word, then I saw what other people wrote in the chat. So what is the learning outcome of that, if you know what I mean? It's just fun.
Yeah.
So I think we need to categorize the games we create and we make, and think about what is the use of it, what is the sense, what is the learning effect, apart from having fun, which is important, you know. It's been often discussed on the course. How do I correct mistakes? Is that an important thing? And in that respect, I think machinima are important, come in important, because you can make a machinima of the situation, and then students can reflect on the language that's been used in that case. But you know, it needs to get really much further into depth, if you know what I mean. And that's what I'm really concerned with and interested in.
Very precise and clear and definite scaffolding.
Yeah.
In order to use the time here, maybe some integration between the classroom and time means that in the future we'll no longer need the complications in a way. It will be eyewear, something we wear on our heads or our eyes that will create the same things. I mean, technology is really traveling fast and developing fast, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay, anything
Now,
else?
shall we go to the sandbox?
Yes, super. Let's go
No,
there.
no, really, you answered. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this time
My pleasure.
you
My pleasure.
offered so generously.
Yes.
So the idea
Yeah.
is the same. I mean, it is a post, and you go places, but it is all devoted to irregular verbs. I have a digital poster with the same activities, and it is very popular. So you just click on the
Yes.
click on the road signs in turn, starting from the muggle and finishing
Yeah.
at the bottom with the cube, and you well, have a try. The instructions are in the pyramid at the top.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
then a comma and a space,
Campito, complete bar,
then the
past form
past
plus,
participle.
given verb, do, did, done. So, I go to begin. What do I write? I write the past form, began, right?
Bottom right, there's a tick, an icon with a tick. Click that. Yeah, see, yes, you don't have to finish the whole series, so it is very good for revising because you do fewer and fewer verbs until you don't need to revise anymore, and then you step to the second level, which is applicant, and then on and on till you become a wizard. So it's quite handy, I think.